Hi everybody, sorry about that. Some technical difficulties. We just cut off a little bit ago due to the signal, but now we have the Sean Winston of the DLSU Green Archers joining us here. He's back to his OG haircut from last season. I'm not sure if the braids are coming back. Maybe Shawnee can confirm that in a second. But before we get to style, that's a cool shirt too.
Thank you.
We're gonna talk about the game that Shawnee just witnessed as a fan today. I would say,
Yeah.
Shawnee was cheerleading, like stepping on the bench earlier, directing stuff like a coach. What did you see about that game that, as a player of this team, you feel will push you guys forward as you try to make the Final Four?
It was a game of it really just boosted our confidence. We were down for a little bit with a losing streak, and so winning this game really boosted our confidence and the team morale, and that's the biggest part. Is they were the number one team in the UAP this, and
They're
we
the
beat them.
defending
Yeah,
champs.
the defending
Yeah.
champs as well. So it kind of boosted our morale, and especially going into the last stretch of the second round, and coming into the playoffs and trying to make that Final Four spot in Final Four. Really boosted our team around stuff like that and gave us energy to go into the next game, which is going to be also a tough game against NU.
From a player's perspective, what was the difference in the second half that TLSU wasn't doing in the first half, which allowed them to finally get back and win that game?
We were just trying to chip away and keep playing hard and just keep trying to go at them and go at them and go at them. And eventually something started working after you just keep trying and keep trying. We kind of got some hustle plays, and Earl played well, and some players stepped up. So overall, it was a great team win, and that's all I can really say about it. It was in the last fourth quarter was probably one of those. It was like a playoff moment.
Right.
It was the intensity was something crazy. So it was a good win.
Coach Derek said during the post conference that Kevin took the responsibility of guarding Carl Tamayo. Did you see? Now, a lot are going to talk about Kevin scoring in the fourth, but defensively, what did you see from him?
He took on the challenge. Carl Tamayo is a great offensive player, a dominant player in this league, and then he took on that challenge and he was out here hustling and trying to do anything he could to get the win for the team.
Last question, Shawnee. Any update on your current injury? Will we see you back in time for Wednesday's game?
Hopefully, I'm just continue to rehab and strengthen it so I can come back stronger and healthy.
Awesome. It's the Kelfish. Just to
Yeah, my calf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was UAP season 95 MVP favorite, Sean Winston. Who knows? He might just come back in time before the Final Four. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. All right, so DLSU is now 5-6. Their road to the Final Four gets a little bit easier. The team they're looking to compete with the most is Adamson, who also won today. They beat UP to improve to 5-6 as well. UP, on the other hand, now falls to 10-2, which means that Ateneo and NU, both 9-3 in the standings at 2-3 and tied right now, have a chance to potentially usurp UP for the number one seed. Take note, Ateneo and UP go head to head on Saturday. Both teams are going to face for the first time since that epic first round encounter, and that might go a long way in determining who ends up the number one seed or who gets a twice to beat seed. NU has played both UP and Ateneo in the second round already. So what they have to do is to get the job done. But their next matchup against LaSalle isn't going to be easy because the Green Archers proved today that even if they've been suffering through a difficult, challenging season, they still have the talent and ability to beat anybody. And that's in large part today, in particular, because of the stellar play of the young guys, namely Earl Abadam and JC Makalalag. Interestingly enough, DLSU veteran Waki Manuel didn't play a single minute today. That's because most of his minutes went to Abadam, who had 20 minutes, and Makalalag also played a handful of minutes. And Abadam, in particular, stepped up well in the fourth quarter. Just like he did in that win against Ateneo in the first round, Abadam scored a few mid-range jumpers, took it to the rim in transition, and contributed when LaSalle needed scoring output. Derek Pamar, the head coach of the DLSU Green Archers, said after the game that for Abadam to keep playing and keep earning minutes, he will have to play not only on instinct but also to think the game, which Pamaran thought Abadam did really well today. Kevin Kiambao had another stellar game today. He had 13 points in the fourth quarter, hit the dagger shot, hit two clutch free throws at the end of the game. It was the kind of performance LaSalle had been needing from KQ for a while. What was something that Kiambao did interestingly compared to the last few games was he took the ball to the rim. When Malik Diouf was out for UP, that rim was attackable for LaSalle in the fourth quarter. Kevin Kimbao, instead of settling for jump shots or floaters, took it to the rim, attempted layups, scored in reverse layups, got to the free throw line, and also Michael Phillips deserves recognition for the way he played today. He had 14 rebounds, a game high, only 8 points, but dominated the rebounds on both sides of the floor, protected the rim, made it so difficult for UP to score in the paint. That was the kind of performance from Michael that Coach Derek Pomayan will need if LaSalle wants to beat UP again, assuming both teams end up facing each other in the Final Four. For UP, they were bound to eventually lose one of these games. They couldn't end up winning all close games, even when it seemed like at certain points this season that they would just be unbeatable towards the end in late game situations. But it's a lesson learned from UP. They turned the ball over quite a few times. They needed to execute better. They couldn't do that today. But knowing Coach Golden Monteverde and his staff, they will get back to the drawing board and try to secure the victory. We got UP team captain Bricks Ramos
Oh,
here
you live?
joining us.
Oh,
Yes, Bricks. Thanks for
nice.
joining the live. Can we get your thoughts about what went wrong today for the Maroons towards the end? I mean, you guys usually you're the composed team at the end of the game, but today LaSalle kind of turned the script a little bit.
I think we just weren't as connected as we usually were.
Mm.
So, we still have stuff to work on.
What was the vibe in the locker room? Was it encouraging after the game? Was it like a lesson learned kind of situation?
Yeah, mostly lesson learned. I think the boys have, you know, we needed a wake up call. So this was it.
That's a great way to put it, a wake up call. Are you confident in your team's ability to bounce back on Wednesday because you have another big game coming up? And as a team captain, what do you feel is your responsibility in terms of motivating the boys to do better?
I think it's my responsibility to get the boys together to make sure that they're all okay, that the team's okay, that as Coach Gul always says, like no matter the hardships that we face, we have to stay together. So
Awesome.
that's my responsibility.
Brett Ramos, general on the court, general off the court too.
All right.
See you guys. For Rappler, this is Naveen Ganglan. We'll catch you all at the next UAP Games.